Hey everybody, this is Pastor B with Tuesday's Touch. The months of November and December are some of my favorite times of the year, not simply because it's Thanksgiving and then Advent and then Christmas, but November and December are important to me because they're times in which I set aside moments and hours and days to reflect on the current year and then plan for the year to come. I take a look at who I've been as a husband and as a disciple of Jesus Christ and as a pastor, as a brother, as a friend, as a father. And I evaluate those things, and then I plot a course for what's going to change in those areas of my life in the year to come. Now, we do that here at the church. We do some evaluation and we do some planning, but this is all about me. This is all about me looking at who I am and who I want to be and making plans to shrink the gap there between the two. Because of what I've learned, I learned this as a young leader and also just as an adult, that if you don't measure and evaluate, nothing gets improved. If you don't measure and evaluate, nothing gets improved. And so I hope that you take some time during the months of November and December to evaluate where you've been as it relates to your goals and objectives, and look at where you want to go and make some plans for the new year to shrink the gap between who you are and who you want to be. I want to start that process off for you right now. Now, you might say, well, Pastor, how are you going to start my evaluation off? You don't know me. You can't evaluate me. There is one thing I can say about you if you are listening to me right now. If you're watching this right now, there's one thing I can say about you, and it's the place that you need to start your evaluation from. The one very important thing I can say about you, if you're watching me, is that you made it this far. That's right. You need to celebrate the fact that you made it this far. In fact, you ought to say it right now. I'm glad I made it. Thank God I made it. I can't hear you. Say, thank God I made it. Because before you begin to criticize yourself, before you begin to talk about what you didn't get accomplished, celebrate what you did get accomplished. First and foremost, that you made it. Yes, you may not have lost the weight. Yes, you may not have bought the house. Yes, you may not have saved the money. But think about all the curveballs that life threw you. COVID-19, a loss of a job, loss of income, loss of a family member that you thought would be here with you for a long time. And now you are here having made it, even with tears in your eyes. You ought to thank God for that. Because in God's eyes, life is not a sprint. It's a marathon race of endurance. In fact, the book of James chapter 1 verse 12 says, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him." So you see, if you've made it this far, it's worth celebrating. Because in God's eyes, life is not a sprint, it's a race of endurance. So celebrate. Thank God right now that you made it through the ups and downs, the ins and outs. You may not have met the goals you wrote on your paper at the beginning of the year, but look how far you have come. I promise if you start with what you've accomplished, you'll have something to shout about. This is Pastor B. God bless you and God keep you. May the Lord bless you during this Advent season. You've been touched.